Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again for the second stream of the day. Gareth's still here. He's in for the marathon. I'm back after racing for 2.5 hours around Silverstone. And we've got ourselves some Brands Hatch this evening. How are you doing, Gareth?
I'm doing well. I've got myself a nice beer to chill with for the evening. It's going to be good.
Perfect. Yeah, I need to get... Oh, I've just realised I've kicked your box out because I'm trying to fiddle with...
Goodbye.
Yeah, you're back. There you go.
It's Silverstone. It's raining. It's going to be fun.
It's Brands Hatch. It's
slipping
raining.
And sliding. That's one. I've been talking for 2 hours, right? Leave me alone.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable. Obviously, today is going to be... whoever does the scheduling for ACCSS clearly doesn't know what the hell they're doing, because it's a bit of a clusterfuck this evening. I'll say it. I'll tell the boys not to swear on stream, but it's like that. Everyone's a bit exhausted.
I've never sworn in my life.
You're too good for this world, Gaff. You're too pure.
Never happened.
But yeah, we're here at Brands Hatch. We're touring England today with all the cars have jumped from, or some of the cars you'll recognise and some of the drivers you'll recognise from our earlier stream around Silverstone. Have put some more fuel in their cars and jetted it an hour and a half up the road to, or down the road even, to Brands Hatch for this evening's event. And the weather's changed. It is wet. We have got some wet. We're going to have some wet free practice, some wet qualifying, and 2 wet races this evening. So talk to me, Gareth. Talk to me about earlier on in the stream. Talk to me about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So the ugliest thing that happened, but also the most beautiful, was that huge turn 1 crash.
Oh, that was a
super aggro on the start. Everyone died. Like, I actually think almost everyone died in that crash. It was insane.
I didn't die. Paul Glover, the man, the myth, the legend, took the bullet for me. He went to avoid the crashing cars in front of him. Matt thought he managed to get round the outside of Alvaro in P2, and then Alvaro snapped oversteered into Paul Glover's face, which left a big old hole for me to go through. But yeah, a lot of people have died, and it's led us to go back to our server providers and ask us if they're for the opportunity to red flag races in the future, because in all honesty I was so panicked by it I didn't look at the map behind me. And then I also had our lounge chat, like we were in the lounge chat for the race, I had that muted to concentrate for the start, so I didn't hear about how big of a mess it was until very late on. So
for being on a keyboard, I'm very impressed that Nicholas Alvarado very almost held that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, honestly, he nearly got it there. So there is, if you are here this evening, there is some information coming regarding Season 4 if we get to 100 viewers. So if you've got your mums, your dads, your family, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, send them the link, get them in here watching, and if we hit 100 viewers during the stream, and we don't normally track viewers, but if we get to 100 viewers during the stream, then there will be some announcements. Most likely the tracks and the start date, because that's the poster I've already made. So, but yeah, that's what we've. If we get to 100 viewers, we'll release it. But some things we can release for this week is you can have a little chat about your Assetto Corsa event that's coming up on Tuesday. I'll go ahead.
Yes. We've been doing more of these Assetto Corsa events. They've been great fun, having a few people in some different cars you can't get in ACC, trying to go to some circuits you can't get in ACC as well. Although we've calmed that down a bit for this week, because it was pointed out to me that a lot of people in the Discord didn't know any of the tracks that we did last week. So we've got 2 nice, simple tracks that you know from Assetto Corsa competency only, the Nürburgring and Laguna Seca, and in between there we're going to put the Red Bull Ring, a fantastic, simple,
the Red Bull
always great racing track. Yeah, brilliant. So we're going to be in the Audi TT Cup cars, which Paul Glover requested. They are sort of, they're not quite GT cars, they're sort of the top level touring cars, and they are great fun, oversteery little chuggers, and we're going to have 3 short races, and then we can do some more if anyone's wanting, but that's going to be on this Tuesday on AC.
Yeah, I'll just put the link in the chat as well for those that are looking to get involved in that. You can click on that link if you're already a member of ACC Sim Series on Discord, and you're also already in simracing.gp, who are our wonderful server providers for all things sim racing. If you aren't a member and you're just here out of the blue, welcome. Click on that link to the Discord and you'll be able to take yourself into the server and get yourself involved, because there's big things to come. I mean, we've hit one milestone this week and we're very close to hitting a second milestone, which I'm just going to check if we haven't hit it already. So we hit 1,000 members on the Discord. I popped into the stream on Friday after I still 48 within 48 hours. I'm still allowed to gloat. My fantastic win, double win, and pole position round Brands Hatch. I popped in to thank everyone and all the staff for their wonderful jobs as we've hit 1,000 members on the Discord, and we're 2 members away on simracing.gp from having 500 members, which will put us the second largest sim racing community on simracing.gp, and actually I think the biggest multi-game, because the other one's RCI and I'm pretty sure they just use it for ACC, whereas we use both of ours for ACC and Assetto Corsa. But anyway, let's get back to Brands Hatch in this evening's race. Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, there's plenty of good races in our top split, obviously. Quite a couple who've been driving for the last 2 and a bit hours, so there could be a little bit under the prep. We can see it being wet. There's obviously Alexis, who's high up in qualifying Lyons, and any of the Lexus boys, I'll be interested to see how they do, because we've seen how powerful that can be in the wet. Junior Strasser in the Bentley didn't come with us for the endurance event, so that means he should be in tip-top shape to do well in this event. And then I don't actually see our fastest of fast boys in here. I
think he dropped out this evening.
We do have Shane Thomas, who took the win, the overall win for the Solo Endurance Cup, who is here, so it's going to be good to see him as well. And
he is driving angry as well, by the way. Like, he was getting very frustrated.
There's no GT4s in this race, so he'll be very happy.
Yeah, I don't know. He never actually told me what he was getting frustrated by, but I assume it must have been...
It was just basic stuff. It was just these GT4s are in front of me. They haven't dived out of my way yet.
Definitely. It definitely thinned out a little bit. We've lost a few drivers in, and everyone in the championship or in the Solo Endurance Cup has had one dropout during the season, and a lot of them have used theirs for this weekend, which I thought they'd use it in the new year, because we've got Mount Panorama coming up on January the 3rd, and I thought a lot of people would drop out for that, but turns out a lot of people dropped out for today's event. So if you are again new, there's loads of new people in the Discord server this week, because we've just announced our first team event as well, which I could put that poster up as well, couldn't I? I've not put that poster up yet. But we've just announced our first team event as well. So we've got loads of new people in the Discord server, and they haven't been around while we've been doing these for the sign-ups to the Endurance Cup, the sign-ups to Season 3, blah 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 blah. So we're going to release another load of reserve drivers essentially for the Solo Endurance Cup, to make sure we get these grids as filled as possible. As like Gareth has mentioned to me earlier in private, it thinned out quite a lot and got a little bit stale towards the middle, towards the end, as everyone was settled in their positions. And we don't want that. We want big grids. We want people battling from start to finish, and action for you guys to watch. We've got 5 minutes left of free practice. Let us know who your votes are on. I tell you what, we go through the championship table. We could go through my webcam every week. Honestly, I've moved the USB. I've plugged the USB into the right hole. Where's my webcam? Deactivate, reactivate. There we go. I'm back. See? There we go. Nothing happened. You didn't see anything. But yeah, let us know in the chat who you're after. It's just died again. Honestly. Don't switch. That's what is gonna have to... It just keeps happening. It's just going to keep... It's just died again. Right, the webcam's dead. The webcam is dead, ladies and gents. Webcam. So you're just going to have to see my wonderful frozen face. I'll tell you what, we'll put a poster in there. We'll put a poster in there. You chat to the Twitch chat about why
Well, one thing I will shout out is !timings, because we have started using Pitwall Live, and it's been fantastic to have live timings that you can look at, so you can keep up with some of the hype that's happening, even if we don't. There's a lot to keep up with, especially when we're doing these big events with a ton of drivers. So if there is a driver you're following or anything, you can look below, and if you set up an account with them, you can have the stream in the middle and all that, and see a little track map, and just make sure to pop out the chat beforehand so you can keep talking to us. And it's been a good hand for the streams so far.
Yeah, it's a fantastic product that's come from so the really fantastic guys over at Pitwall. We've been talking to them about implementing our stewarding system into that. They've got a few little spaces on the link that you can see there that we could potentially put our stewarding penalties into. So the guys at Pitwall.live and our head steward Leonard have been chatting to try and find a solution to give you guys, the viewers, as much information as possible, and as well as the drivers as well. I mean, we've got, like we've mentioned in the poster there, we've got the team event coming up, and it's really useful during team events because you can track people out of rotation, out of pit stop rotation. You can see how long certain people have been in the car. You can see, especially for the longer events, when we get to longers, and you can see that there is one faster driver in the team than the other. You can see when they're back in the car. So you get a lot of information from Pitwall Live, and at the moment it's a free to use piece of software. There is a payment plan which is very cheap and very reasonable. So if you're in the business of sim racing, I definitely look at contacting the guys at Pitwall Live to try and get yourself hooked up with them. 2 minutes left of free practice then. We're going to jump over there very, very shortly. Unfortunately, I've got no adverts like you've got, but I can talk about something that's going to be coming in the stream today. We've got a new toy to play with. Predictions. Now, I can see it because I've updated it, but I don't know if you guys can see it. The channel points have just turned into wife coins. And you can now spend your wife coins on predicting who's going to finish higher out of a couple. Well, we can give a lot of scenarios. We're going to be using it for who can finish higher in a couple on the grid. So it might not be P1 and P2. It might be a couple of people in the middle of the pack, a couple of people that are very close together, and you can gamble your wife coins away to try and pick a winner. And if you win, I think you get 1.7 times the amount you bet. So unlucky Pavel, who apparently spent all his wife coins earlier on, according to Gareth. You've got none left now. But yeah, for all those people that have been here since day one, you should have a nice big stack of them sitting there so you can use them. Let's go over to the game. Let's go over to the gameplay. The patience is wearing thin and the concentration is as well. So let's go over to our game, and we've got a minute left of free practice. He says, "Where's the game? Come on, game! There it is." And we're on board with no game sound. I know because I just got to turn that on. There we go, and we're on board with Andreas Schuster in P2 at the moment. He's sitting behind a very wet and wonderful Paul Glover. You doing some clearing, were you? I missed that.
Yeah. My favourite friends, the bots, are here. They got me an achievement on Twitch, so, you know, I like them, but they still have to be banned, unfortunately. As we hop in and see Shane Thomas no longer the fastest in qualifying. The Ferrari of Grosskamp has done it.
Everyone's taking the mick out of my webcam in general. I see you. You can't see me, but I can see you. I'm assuming no one wants any Season 4 information because after a 2.5 hour race, taking the mick ain't going to get you there. But either way, hey ho. Right, so he's in the pits. Free practice is coming to an end. Kai Zahinski is out on track. Dan doesn't really know what he's doing. It's been a long day. But we're here. We're going to struggle through together. Hello, Rob. How are you doing, my friends? Rob, if you're interested in getting back in the grids, we might have some spots for you and your brother to come take part in the Solo Endurance Cup if you fancy it. We've got quite a few spots opening up. If you both fancy taking part, I'm sure we can fit you both in. Mattia Lysin just pulling over to the side of the road. Jason Allen finishes us off, and we're into qualifying.
Green light, green light. Show them what you got.
And who is going to be the first AM car out? It looks like it's going to be an AMG. It's
Julian
car.
Strasser.
Is it Julian Strasser, the first one out? What a hero.
Yeah. He snuck out. He had the first pit slot. He got in there early. So
Oh,
he
classic.
out ahead of everyone.
That's a classic DT fix, that is.
Yeah.
Just sneak out. Just get yourself right. Let's try the predictions out, shall we? Start our prediction. Right, who will out qualify? So I talk while I type. Whom? So give me two people that are quite close together in general that we don't normally talk about or we don't normally see.
Oh God.
I've got it. Sorry, I know I asked you for a favour, but I've got it.
Do it. It's fine.
We're gonna bring back the season 1 rivalry.
Is it the Americans?
It's the Americans. I've just seen them both on
Diggs and Doherty.
submission for how long viewers have to guess the outcome.
In our season 1, Diggs and Doherty were very close to each other the whole time, and they were at the time were like probably some of the only two Americans we had who were racing with us because we didn't have ACCSS Americas yet. And so it was fun to see them so close on the grid, multiple, week in, week out.
There you go. I'm going to put some gamblings down. Going to put some monies on the bank. Predict. Oh, I can't because streamers and mods can't cast a prediction. Ah, it's fixed, I tell you. It's anti-fixed. Where am I looking?
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
Oh, where's it just gone? I've got 4.5k to spend. I'll let you talk about qualifying, by the way, while I'm trying to fix my phone.
Okay, you go and cheat on the predictions while we're watching Julian Strasser coming through the dip in the big boy Bentley. I'm not sure at this point what the relative delta is marking against. I think it is the time from practice. So he hasn't had the fastest lap yet. Still trying to get his tires up to standing a little bit on the curb there. Froze himself off a bit. Coming around the end of the lap, it doesn't look like he's going to have a good first time. But hopefully he can start a real flying lap now. Coming around the last corner, which is really just set up for the first corner, but unlike Silverstone that we were looking at earlier, it's not one of those sort of corners that you can really gain or lose a huge amount of time on. Similarly with this corner, you just got to be careful not to get on a bit too early and push out wide. I think a little bit late there from Julian. Might have to be careful about the little green bit of sort of AstroTurf after there. It might be a bit slippy when damp as he comes through the hairpin of Druids into this awkward left-hander going into the infield. You can see he gets huge and slidey there, as the Bentley likes to do. Rolling down to where McLaren goes right here, and the corner I always forget its name goes left. This is another tricky one for oversteer. You really need to put on the gas early, and it's really easy to just be pulled off the right-hand side of the track before you go into the dip. Really fast right-hander here with just a tiny bit of braking. Stay in a reasonably high gear and don't catch that curb on the inside, Julian, or you'll be drifting through the corner. Cut here, big to the outside. Really easy one to spin off, which Julian almost does.
It's so rough, yeah.
Up to the top of here, cut a lot of the curb there normally. Might be a bit less in the wet. And then you could lose quite a lot of time in this second corner, but you've got to get a nice run out of here for the end. And a nice improvement by Julian, who is sitting 5th right now. And probably won't make a position up on Max Diggs. He'll be very close to him, however. You see him come across the line there, and yep, just a 10th down. Not even a 10th down on Max Diggs. with Menno de Ridder leading us so far. Connor Daly ruining my sentence mid-sentence and leading us so far with a 129.7. De Riddler with a 129.8, and all the rest just behind on 30s with Thomas Santon, Diggs, Strasser, Paul Glover, Zaransky, Martinez, Lambert, and Horiot as our top 10 after the first few laps.
Awesome stuff. So we're looking at Mike Doherty at the moment, one of our drivers in the predictions. And he's currently, let's have a little look, basic HUD, he's massively down on his time, but he is valid. I think that might just be a delta issue rather than actually massively down on his time. Doing these conditions are deliberately tricky for our drivers, though, is the fact that I've set it to this very weird point where you could get away with using dry tyres on a wet track. Like, you could use wet tyres, but they'll probably get chewed up within like 5-10 minutes. Or you could do dry tyres and you'd be a little bit more slippy and probably have a little bit more speed. So it'd be interesting later on to see sort of what tyres our drivers have gone for. So Connell Daly is 6/10 up on his time at the moment, coming around the final corner. Thank you very much as well for the Prime subscription. I believe, is it Grom? I think it might be Tom Grosscamp. He's just spelt his name weird in Twitch. And thank you very much for the follow as well, Mike Skeeton and Skelton and Major Lee Crooks as well. Thank you very much for the follows. So Connell Daly improves.
I am assuming that in Spectator we can't actually see what tyres they're on.
On basic HUD, you'll be able to see dry or wet.
Oh, you can! I was looking through and everyone was on dry 1, so I assumed it was one of those things where you just couldn't see. But Jose Martinez looks to be the only driver who is on wet tyres right now.
Ivan Lambert, 4/10 ups. He comes through turn 4. Oh, you can tell doing these back-to-back streams may not have been a good idea in hindsight. We're both so tired to talk.
It's fine. I'm trying to work out what all these like lights next to the tyre things mean in the basic HUD in here, because I very rarely... I started using the basic HUD more for broadcast, but I haven't. There's like a blue dot. Okay,
so the top dot on the left is engine starter ignition. I think it's blue if the starter's on, and green if it's like the ignition's been on.
Okay.
The box underneath is your engine warning light, and then the 2 arrows underneath are left and right indicators.
Engine warning light.
Yeah, so I've never seen it, but like, I've never got.
Well, I have now, and that's not a.
Oh, it's the box
sign,
the pit limiter. Apparently, the box is the pit limiter, according to someone in chat. And do you know what? I'm in the right mindset to believe chat today.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Martinez isn't doing this lap on a pit limiter, but there might be a colour of it, which means it's the pit limiter.
Oh, is Martinez on? Let's have a little look. Let's go.
Yeah, he's got an orange box and a blue light. He's on the wet tyres, and he has just gone into 9th place with a 1:31 flat time as he's going through periods now.
Oh yeah, it could be your lights that are on.
Rain lights. So he's the only person in the game who has rain lights on. Okay. Fair enough.
Paul Glover's a 2nd up as well. Is he valid? Is Paul Glover valid?
Paul Glover is valid.
Oh!
2nd up from his 1:30.9, which will put him 3rd if he manages this time. He's about halfway through the lap, so he can keep gaining or losing on that. Jason Allen also coming around to set a pretty good time. Couldn't quite get right to the top, but he's going to jump a long way. He didn't jump as long as I thought he did. It turns out the top is a bit further away than that. So Paul Glover, nice and hooked up around there. He's been gaining time this whole time I've been talking. He's 1.7 up.
Oh, this could be pole.
Is Nice and careful on the
Oh,
last
this
corner.
could be
Holy,
pole!
He just gained
This could be
so
pole!
much time on that last corner, which is a corner I literally have never seen
Go
anyone
on,
gain
Paul,
time on.
brother! Go on!
128.929. What a massive lap.
What a hero. Sahitsky joins him as well. He was 6 tenths up on his lap. The wet boys cometh and the wet boys taketh away. I feel like I've backed the wrong horse here in my bet. Mike Doherty letting me down so far. I put all my 4.3k wife coins on Mike Doherty. I'm the only person to back him, and
we've seen a lot of digs hanging around in every series, seemingly. So he's a very consistent guy. Zahinsky is consistently gaining on this lap. Now 0.7 up, but he's in 4th place already. So that 0.7 up is a huge increase if he can keep it. He's still gaining out of that 3rd lap. You often see a lot... Oh, that's a huge cut from the Porsche in front of him. I don't know if you're on board with
that's
him,
not the line.
That was big. He's kept it, though. He actually might start losing time even from this Porsche. He's getting right up close to it. He's actually gone a little wide on that corner as well. That's going to lose him a lot of time. That just lost him about 4 tenths of time there. So if he can hook up this sort of lap again, but not ruin that second to last corner, which is one of the places you often see people lose time, then he could set an absolute worldie. Even with that, he's at 29.3. So he could have been on pole if he hadn't ruined that corner.
Oh, Mike Dockett, he's up. He's up. He's not up enough, though. He needs to find 1.5 seconds. He found 4 tenths. Tom Van Zanten, then, is 4 tenths up.
Mattia Litchen in the Nissan, about to jump up a place or two.
All these drivers are finding their rhythm. They're finding their time.
Lots of green times in the broadcast thing as De Riddler coming round to the end of the lap. 7 tenths up. So this is another one that could be pole if he does it well. And it looks like it is going to be. Paul has enjoyed his period at the top, but is no more.
Paul needs to pull his socks up.
Van Zanten is the next driver looking to make a big improvement, but there's actually a huge gap here between Kai Zaransky and Thomas Van Zanten. There is almost a second in it. Zanten's going to close that quite a lot, but Kai is at a 29.3, and 2 places back at Diggs, you're already into the 130s. So there's a real big gap in the middle of our grid right now.
Oh, Mike Doherty found time. He's within a second of Max Diggs. He's probably got 1 more lap to do it. Jose Martinez is up on his time. 3 tenths up.
Yep, in the big old Bentley. Should be able to have a good run. The Bentley, you'd imagine being one of those big chunky boys like the Lexus to be good in the wet, but it just seems so loose.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons why I know people like Julian like it, but it seems so extra loose in the wet that it might not actually be as good as you'd perhaps think it is. He has Kai Zaransky just pulling down on his neck as well. And that boy's going to want to get past soon because Zaransky is up on his lap as much as Martinez is. Both of them about to get
I think Zahinsky's about to get pole here, I think.
Yeah, so Martinez is going to jump up a ton of places because he's where it's really tight, and Zaransky is going to jump up into pole. 28.6.
Last lap soon. I don't think 112 or 150 is going to get across the line in time. They're going to, obviously this lap will count.
into the pits. 150 has managed it.
Yeah, he does get across. What about 505? They get across, yeah.
Just about. But they're the last, so 41 has not got across the line.
So Max Diggs wins. Ugh. There you go. Whoever backed him, you've just had your monies. So our GT3s are so used to the multi-class setup of earlier. Our pro drivers should now be out on track.
That they are, and it looks like Ashley Bloomfield, his skating across the grass actually, went out there early to get the first lap in, and has now been overtaken on his outlap by one of the Porsches because he was pushing a little bit hard on wet and cold tires. So that means Schuster in that that piggy little Porsche coming out into the lead here to set the first pro qualifying lap.
I like this feature. I'm going to do another prediction. Rodrigo Iverson or Shane Thomas are two invitational drivers that are here this evening. You've got 2 minutes to do your predictions of who will win between Rodrigo Iverson and Shane Thomas. There are 2 invitational drivers this evening as Andreas Schuster crosses the line to start the first flying lap of the session. I haven't even got any wife coins left to bet.
You're gonna have to watch the stream more, aren't you?
Well, I just unmodded myself. I couldn't do it on my personal account because I was a mod. See, we can
through the middle of the lap.
See, we can blame Ash for these conditions, Mr. Bloomfield, because I messaged him in the week. What's a more difficult circumstance to drive in? Greasy / damp, or flooded? And he didn't respond, so we went for what I thought was right. And as Andreas Schuster loses his laps, it will be down to a takeover with Bloomfield. We've just seen the Porsche of Schuster losing a little bit through turn 5 and 6.
Yep, everyone having difficulties in this weather. It's good to see. I always enjoy some challenging wet races.
See, damp is a bit more slippery than greasy. Like damp,
greasy isn't too bad. People are talking about this in the practice server. Greasy is not actually hard at all, really. It's basically just the same, but you have to be a little bit more careful. It's not bad. Damp is where it starts to really get awkward, and a bit more than this. If this keeps just raining a bit, the absolute hardest part is the crossover point, when you get just to the point where wet tires would actually make sense, and that is where it gets tremendously hard. And then as it gets to full wets, it sort of gets okay again because it's sort of consistent, unless the rain's constantly coming and going. And then at thunderstorms, like, it does kind of get harder again because it's just so slippy, but again, it's sort of consistently slippy.
Yeah, I think that one of the nicest races I've driven, even endurance races wise, was a race around Suzuka. Not our race, it was on another community provider, and it started wet and it dried with like an hour to go. So you went through, it was like flooded to dry essentially in a 2.4 hour race. But it was it was like a 1 times progression as well though, so it was a nice progression, if that makes sense. Like you could start to see the dry line. You had only 1 mandatory stop for the 2.4 hours, so it was like deciding when to pit to go from the wet tyres, like to stop driving. Like if you're talking for the start finish straight at Suzuka, like you could see everyone pulling off the racing line to cool their tyres and then get back on it for the braking zone again. So that area of, as Iverson invalidates his lap, I believe. If he hasn't, he's a very lucky boy.
Iverson has invalidated his lap.
So Steve Lyons then in the Lex side behind P26, which is Oppenhausen. He's up on his time as well at the moment.
I want to see Lyons doing pretty well. He's a fast boy and he's in the Lexus, which is a very stable car in wet conditions.
And the Bentley of Steve Hughes, though, in the meantime, has gone pole with a 28.2. Oh, as Lyons puts it in a wall. That was so straight and as an arrow that I thought I'd lost connection for a second.
Well, Ryan Ware just sets a very good lap, jumping himself up a load of places into 129.7s. So just behind Diggs. And just like in the qualifying, we're seeing after a few laps, that's when people really start getting the hang of the conditions. They know how damp it is, how hard they can push, where they need to be careful. And everyone is starting to light up green on our broadcasting tool as Shane Thomas also loses his lap at the same place Iverson did. Groskamp here should have a good jump up towards the front, gaining half a second on his time of 1:29.1. He's going to be up with the podium boys for this. Second place for Tom Groskamp.
Absolutely flying.
Anthony Terhost about to jump up from 14th to 6th position. Good run by him there, putting himself in contention in the Mercedes. Never driven either of the Mercedes in the wet, so I don't really know how they feel. I expect the new Mercedes to feel awful in the wet. So
yeah, most likely it's. And I can see some of the comments in the Twitch chat, and that's completely understandable. This is a my bad that this happened. I've held my hands up. It won't happen again. I've already moved round 4, so it doesn't clash with season 4. So yeah, I get it. But there are pro drivers at the end of the day.
Yeah, so we're going to bully you.
That's fine, everyone else does. I haven't had a lot of complaints this week, so I need some more. I'm not going to say, oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud.
Yeah, I meant we were going to bully the drivers anyway. What have you moved? You said you moved, did you move Bathurst or you mean the next?
I moved Imola back a week.
Ah.
Because we changed Barcelona to Imola for a vote for all the drivers. They decided they wanted to
change Barcelona to Imola.
Yeah,
I still have Barcelona on my list, so that's good.
And then we were gonna swap Imola with Bathurst, but we decided not to do that because it would because Imola hasn't gone on sale yet, so
okay.
It'll give a chance because there's a few drivers that haven't got Imola yet, and they might also not have Bathurst, so it gives them a chance to find the one they're looking for. Steve Lyons in 6 tenths up, coming through the final sector.
I like the idea of the SEC being on the week offs from the championship.
Yeah, that will be. So our team races and our SEC will be in the off season essentially because there's probably 2 or 3 weeks the off season now between the end of the sprint ones. Nice. So it'll likely be 1 week will be the SEC, 1 week will be the team race, and then we'll be back.
Sounds good.
I think that makes sense. Had a lot of discussion this week about how we're going to operate season 4 and if we're going to keep things the same. Salguero then in the same. Is he in the same livery as? Are they teammates? Is that that's not a base livery, is it?
Are you talking about the Lexus?
No,
the Bentley. Yes, I believe there are 2 Bentleys that are in basically the same livery.
Are they teammates or are they? This isn't an official livery, is it?
No, it's not. I'm trying to remember what I was told. I feel like it was a livery that they downloaded from Race Department.
Oh, okay.
And one of them has just edited a little bit to his liking.
So Guerrero then puts himself on pole.
He's got the Estrella logo on the side.
You boys that keep wasting your wife coins in chat messages, you need to save them for the predictions.
I can't do predictions. I'm a mod.
I can unmod you.
No.
But you can have it back at the end.
That would...
Unmod. I'm here to do the clearing of things. How do I spell?
Logged into that account?
Oh, wasting my time.
I'm wasting our sim coins. Wife coins.
Same thing. Mr. Horio, great drive in the McLaren 650S, I believe it was, in SEC.
Oh yeah, the GT4 one.
No, he was in the old GT3 one.
Oh, really? Oh, that's weird.
I mean,
nice.
You've watched him for 2.5 hours.
Was he the black and orange one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do recognise him. I just never assume. I never see people drive the old.
Yeah, I know.
McLaren.
We were saying this earlier.
It also doesn't look that much different. Maybe that's just me being a McLaren hater, but whatever.
I'll tell you what though, if you want practice for Season 4, right, you should definitely look at signing up as a reserve driver for Round 3 at Barfest. Because it's the week before. And it may or may not be on the calendar.
Yeah,
we're very close to. We're very close.
Definitely had that first race spoiled already.
We're very close to 100. No, we're not. We were.
Flying. Oh, look,
It's so right, yeah.
Salaguero, first place already, and is the most improved driver on this lap so far. So he's looking to really stamp his authority on this qualifying session. He's about halfway round the lap, and he is 4 tenths up on his time.
So you are looking at Bloomfield, who is 6 tenths up, Gareth. I'm going to be right back very shortly. I'm just need to go and pop and grab a drink to get a bit of a sore throat. So you're on board with Ash, and they can hear me by the way, because I forgot to mute myself when I told you this.
Nice.
Oh, Bloomfield's put it in the wall. Classic Crashley. Classic Crashley Bloomfield. When it matters, he needed that.
The improvement.
He needed that time. Paul Glover's going to out-qualify him, man.
And Paul won't let him live that down.
I won't let him live that down. Anyway, I'm going to get a drink.
You go enjoy your drink. He's the one with the sore throat, and I'm the one who's been commentating for 2.5 hours. But we do sit. We're now on board with Ryan Ware. Interesting choice. Ryan Ware with a fantastic BMW livery. Got to give big shouts to that. And anyone who drives the BMW is a brave man in my heart. Coming through Druids. A little bit of a wiggle out of that corner, but he is still up on his time. Ooh, only just up on his time though. This corner, really awkward one. You've got to get on the accelerator as early as possible and move over to the right, but it's so easy to just go slightly too far on there. Down the longest straight on the track, through the dip. He has a time so far of 1:29.1, so he doesn't need much to improve, but he's not going to get anything with that mistake. Into the wall. Same place that you saw Bloomfield go off, and it is the place where I expect to see the most mistakes, especially with this damp track. It's really easy to loud pedal there and just throw yourself into the wall, as you have now seen twice. Just to prove that I'm not talking nonsense, it keeps happening.
It keeps happening, people. Starting my wife coin ready for the next prediction. How's Rodrigo Iverson getting on? He needs to put his finger out his bum. He was flying in SEC 2 hours ago.
Yep, he is up a little bit, of course, in the Honda now, which is not his main car. Although he was in the GT4 Porsche Cayman for the endurance race, so he's been hopping around a little bit. A lot of people who aren't normally Honda guys been trying out the Honda recently. I think it's because it's such a low representation car that people feel like they want to be the one to master it. But all of them struggling, I would say. Overall, very tricky car to get hold of. But if you can get hold of it, it can be really good on some tracks. Rodrigo Iverson coming up into the last part of this lap. 3 attempts up out of that difficult penultimate corner.
We could be about to eat our words here as well because Bloomfield's on a flyer. Well, he's not. He's not on a flyer for pole, but he's about to outqualify Paul Glover. He couldn't let us have that.
Well, Rodrigo Iverson is going to get a pretty big jump, I think, because they're quite close around that sort of area of the field. Ashley Bloomfield can do the same, coming across with a couple attempts up to 3rd. Big boy lap.
That's how close that field were, because there were three attempts between them.
Yeah.
Yanaba's up as well as he crosses the line. He goes up to 7th.
Oh, very good lap from Yanba.
Shane Thomas Law is very much
He's
down.
been doing that Dragon Ball Z weighted clothing because he's been in the GT4 BMW and that thing is awful. So he's been in the forest with his weighted clothes on.
Right, we're just going to jump back to the pre-race then while I wait for the server to jump over. And we're back. As Gareth sorts it, that's why I said it out loud, because one web, at least your webcam is movable. Mine's just packed up. Like,
yeah.
We need to do like a stereotypical stream thing where you got the little financial goal in the top right hand corner. DT sufficient webcam for 1 hour stream. $10.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the game stream and bring up the qualifying table. There we go. So Salguero's on pole. Steve Hughes, Ashley Bloomfield, Shane Thomas, Tom Grosskamp, Kai Sahinski, Victor Yanaba, Andreas Schuster, Menno de Riddler and Anthony Tehost then to your top 10. Let's pay out that prediction in time for the start of the race. It was Shane Thomas that came out in pole. And let's have a little look at setting up a prediction for the race. Who are we thinking of putting 2 drivers that are close to each other together? To Host and Lyons, do you think?
Yeah, do it.
To Host and Lyons then will be the next one. You can tell we're grabbing at the straws this evening. It's been a long day. We're just gonna keep you entertained with some fake gambling and
fake internet points are the best points. I don't want to hear anything said against them.
There we go. You've got 5 minutes to make your submission because that'll be about the time it takes for the server to reboot. Who am I going to back? And I am going to back 96 of my finest wife coins on Steve Lyons. So there you go. You can predict with your wife coins in the chat how many you think. We've got Anthony Tehost in P10 and Steve Lyons in P11. Let's have a little look further down the grid. So Maninka is with hasn't set a lap because he had a quali ban. We can fix that for the time being, Julian, if you want. Just sure. There you go. There you go. You can now gamble your free your free internet currency away. And it's very wet for the race. It's very hot as well. 29 degrees C on track, and it is damp. We're going to go down to the blank HUD for the grid walk. So we have got Salguero. Oh, we're a bit fast, aren't we? Let's slow this down. It's still right. Come on, game. Let's play ball with us today. So we have got Salguero on pole. Steve Hughes then on P2. Familiar places for him following the race earlier on. Bloomfield third. Thomas in fourth following his win at the SEC earlier. Groskamp in fifth. Zahinski sixth. Janaba Schuster, Derrida and Ter Horst. And then we've got Steve Lyons, Paul Glover, Connell Daly, Federico Bollion. He told me how to say his name and I've still forgotten. Iverson Ware, Joseph Van Zanten, Oppenheisen Diggs, Jorge Martinez, Alvarado and Lambert. And then we've got Straza, Doherty, Lysin, Allen and Maninka at the back with his Qualibam. You can have them back later, Julian. They're not gone forever. Let's do some sightseeing. Where do we want to go?
I don't know.
I could talk a lot about this track. We were here a few months ago.
It's a load of trucks. Most of them are red.
Yeah, those trucks don't.
There's a helicopter. I found a helicopter again.
Where?
Helicopters are cool.
Where's the helicopter?
It's down by the last corner. There's the entries over here. I used to come to Brands Hatch a lot when I was young. I do not remember it hugely.
Are you going to come to Brands Hatch though for the GT World Challenge? Ah,
no way. But behind this helicopter, there's a little gate. It says thank you for visiting Brands Hatch, and that's where I used to be when I was younger. We used to like click people in, count the numbers and stuff.
You should make the travels, and that's legit. That is there in real life as well.
Yeah, I used to sit on a wall there.
And then we've got the venue map. Let's see how accurate this is, shall we? Oh, we can't because it's too blurry. Weird how disabled viewing is further away from the racetrack than the actual viewing. It wasn't this busy when we went. Got some stalls. None of this was here when we were there. Wasn't this many people.
I used to come for MotoGP, so there was an absolute ton of people there.
Yeah. Well, we went during lockdown, although as it came out of lockdown, it was in that little gap between. So, over here is a very fantastic race room, simulator room, where me, Lewis Webb and Ashley Bloomfield basically stared at people in their full motion sims while playing race room. Because it was absolutely extortionate to go and try it out yourself. I think the cars are moving.
Well, my camera's moving, but they are not moving yet.
Oh, the engines have started. It must be in the 30 seconds.
They're revving. They're revving. Trying to see who has the nicest livery. I still think Ryan Ware. I think Ryan Ware wins in this.
Yeah, he has got one of the nicest liveries.
There we go. Now we're off.
The grandstand.
And that excellent excitement of exploring Brands Hatch is why I run ads at this point.
Yes, I haven't got any of them on the channel on my setup at the moment.
I promise I will make some more highlights soon when I actually have time.
It's alright. It's on the long list of things to do. We've got loads of like still image highlights, but no. Right, let's get the show on the road. Broadcasting HUD.
This
is going to be carnage.
Even just this formation lap is carnage.
Have you?
Inside each
to
other.
be fair, on pole on Friday, just reminding everyone that I was pole on Friday. I was just stretching them out, just literally putting my foot down, slamming them on as my UI went back into the green bit, slamming my foot on.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it in this game because you have absolutely no risk of crashing into people. You can just drive crazy, warm up your tyres as much as possible.
And that's going to be the
everyone
important
should
thing.
Do it.
That's going to
slam on the brakes.
That's going to be the important thing here is the warming of the tyres, especially in this very tricky conditions of having a damp setup. So the predictions are in. Who are we backing? Who are we backing, chat? 91% for Steve Lyons. 5,400 wife coins for Steve Lyons. 520 for Anthony to Host. So we're about to reach the final corner.
He's got Hamilton's number. How can he lose?
He's got Hamilton's number. He should lose. Controversial topic. We're winding it up. Winding it up slowly. We are 2 by 2.
It's weird seeing Hughes and Thomas next to each other like that because it's giving me flashbacks of like a couple hours ago.
Did you catch Thomas going over the sausage?
No.
Have you seen the picture?
I didn't catch Hughes going over the sausage either.
Oh, I messed with. I meant Hughes. Sorry. Who did I say? Thomas.
You said Thomas. But I did see Hughes flying. I also saw the replay of Hughes flying as we start flying for the start of this race. Ashley looking aggro on the grass there. It's a little bit tasty, but Thomas has fallen in behind the front four as they dive down towards Druids. The earliest 2x2 is now Grosskamp and it's not Janber, it's the Lexus of Zaransky. Zaransky losing out slightly there to the Ferrari as they go down to the middle section of the track. As Janber is still side by side with the Porsche. That's a real squeeze going side by side through there, but they both make it. Still going side by side down to the next corner, the one that's near McLaren. I always forget the name of as we see Aston Martin behind them. I think that's Derrida going off as they line up. The Porsche lining up a move on the Lexus here. That's Schuster on Zaransky. And this is another awkward corner to go side by side through, and he backs out just before doing it. So all of you Lyons voters, not looking good for you right now because De Host is still ahead and he has Paul Glover right behind him as Lexus off the track. That didn't go well for him. Zaransky has now dropped a huge amount of places and is another body between Ter Host and Lyons.
I'm actually remarkably surprised with how clean that's gone.
Yeah, good job.
We've not even had any yellow flags. There's still quite a lot of them on the grid. There's still 30 drivers on the grid.
Yep. And
there's no yellow flags. And the field is starting to spread itself out a little bit. Salguero crosses the line in first position with Hughes, Bloomfield and Thomas behind. So it's a Bentley duo followed by the Aston Martin duo. Tom Grosskamp then finds himself in P5. And then we've got Andres Schuster, Victor Janaba, Anthony to Host, Paul Glover and Menno de Ridder. So where has... What's his face gone? Did he fall off the face of the earth? Oh, Lyons is all the way at the back. So Lyons just fell a big off. He's now in last place. And that's going to be unfortunate because a lot of you have backed him. 91% of you, in fact, have backed him to beat Anthony de Host. So I have to see how he gets on with recovering from this. There's a little tussle in the middle. I'm just trying to find the driver, Victor Janaba. Battling alongside Anthony de Host, the other driver of the prediction we were just talking about. I think Paul Glover trying to latch onto the back of him. Paul Glover currently P1 of our Tier 2 AM drivers. That's the red badge drivers. Our white badge drivers are our Tier 1, our pro drivers. And then the silver badges are invitational. So they are drivers who...
Oh, and Victor's gone on the grass there. Had to really come out of the throttle there to keep going and loses a position. A small mistake there that really cost him in that last section of the track. And now Paul Glover is starting to gain on him towards the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Yeah,
and Host runs wide as well, coming out the penultimate corner, or the final corner even, sorry. So let's open the door up for this Audi of Janaba. Glover all over the back of him, looking to attack, driving a little bit angry following a few mishaps in the earlier race around Silverstone. Janaba a bit slippy as he comes through round one. He'll have to try and maintain and control that going in, defending the inside line from Glover in the Ferrari, taking that advantage. Menno de Ridder trying to grab onto the back of that Ferrari of Paul Glover. And Ryan Ware has split up the little AM group that we've got going between P8 and P12 as Glover's spun. What happened to Glover there? He's absolutely killed it into the wall. He's taken de Ridder out with him as well. Ware managed to get through.
Oh, and a Mercedes has gone wide right next to him. That's Van Zanten, I believe, who's now fallen behind Ritter as well. So
Oh, the pack is swarming. The pack is swarming on Van Zanten.
Oh, boy.
There's a yellow flag further back for car 60. Car 23 in the wall as well. 23 being Sahinsky. So Sahinsky's had a bit of a mare with Steve Lyons. No! Steve just cannot catch a break at the moment. He's been absolutely flying so far. Frederick Bollion's been involved. He was yellow flagged. I believe he may have missed turn 4 and just ran himself a little bit wide.
Yeah, Van Zanten's having an awful day as well. Being taken by one Mercedes and another Mercedes really pushing him now. He's had to be offline through that whole corner, but as you very well know, on Brands Hatch, it's a track where you can sit in the middle of the track and just not let people past if you have the pace.
Oh, 100%. Brands Hatch is all about qualifying position, more than Monza, in my opinion. You have to. If you can qualify well, you could just literally park in the middle, and no one's going to get past you unless you make the mistake, as we saw on Friday night. But this is the pack to watch at the moment. The leaders have all spread themselves out. We've got Salguero gapping now from Hughes, who's gapping from Bloomfield, with Thomas sitting behind him. And then we've got Groskamp and Schuster battling themselves out. There's a
yeah, Schuster's actually just taken Groskamp just a few corners ago that we missed. So great work by him bringing himself up a position. As car 150, that's Doherty is dead in the background.
God, this AMG battle right here between Daly and Van Zanten is absolutely flowing at the moment. Daly just looking for a way round in that mind-liveried AMG. Just looking for a little bit of breathing room just to put his nose in. Van Zanten grabbing as much of the curb as possible. It's going to be more tricky here to grab us some curb just because of the track conditions. I mean, Brands Hatch, you need to be able to eat a lot of the curbs in the third sector to get a nice fluid lap going. But it's going to be quite tricky today to put that power down as you go through the corners because just the curbs are going to be so wet. So let's have a little look at our leaderboard overall. Salguero then finds himself in P1. Hughes has brought that gap down, and Shane Thomas is all over the back now of Ashley Bloomfield. It looks like he had a bit of an issue coming through 2 and 3. We head into sector 2 even, sorry.
In chat, the question, did Glover pick up damage? He definitely picked up damage. Whether it's enough to actually unsettle his car and lose him lap time, I don't know. But he's scratched up. He doesn't have any clearly bumped pieces. So he should be okay. But
he is still leading Amlos. It's a fantastic drive from him as well. That'd be really impressive. He's actually made a massive gap here on the Riddler. Gaps like up to 3 or 4 seconds. Yeah, 3.1 seconds then between Glover and the Riddler. These two were side by side as they came out of Graham Hill Bend. Where's 444? Rodrigo Iverson then. Cork in the bottle as he lets Martinez's Bentley through. Max Diggs, the next one in line. And then we've got Alvaro. So the pit window is open. We're able to see those cars that are involved in a few little tangles here and there in the opening laps. See if they dive in early. Paul Glover is definitely one to watch out for that. I think he's gone past it. One car did jump in. That was Rodrigo Iverson. He's jumped into the pits. Benjamin Hourier, Julian Straws are all jumping for the pits early doors. Now, we didn't check what tyres these guys were going on, so it could be even for a change of, or give himself some new boots. Or Daly's got the opening
in the hairpin, yeah, Daly is going side by side with Van Zanten. Doesn't quite manage to put the foot down the hill, and now he's going to be stuck behind again because there's a couple of tricky corners to go around coming up.
Yeah, there's these conditions, like you'd be able to be more aggressive in obviously dry conditions, but in these conditions, he's caught himself.
Oh, he's on the grass. That's really bad. He's going to lose so much time from that, and there's going to be Martinez, a very fast boy in the Bentley behind him, who's going to be pushing up towards him. it's obviously very hard to overtake, not just on this track, but in these conditions where as soon as you leave the dry line, you just lose so much grip as the Riddler, or Van Zanten, sorry, also goes onto the grass, and that closes up this pack again.
Victor Yanaba's into the pits then as well.
This is a rub, yep.
So going to be a dive. He was quite aggro here, keeping to his line before. Oh, another Mercedes coming out the pit there. Puts Martinez a little bit off his line, but he's okay. No incidents happening.
Yeah, Martinez has joined into this battle now of where can I have a go? Let's have a look how the battle's raging on further up as Groskamp's all over the back here then of Schuster. And it looks like Thomas has actually managed to get past Bloomfield as well. They're side by side as they head into Sector 3. Thomas runs a little bit wide. That's going to give the edge to the white and aquamarine Aston Martin of Ashley Bloomfield. So Shane Thomas then getting the overtake done on Ashley. But the whole time these two have been battling, Salguero and Hughes are off to the races. There's nearly a 6-second gap in between the P2 and P3 car. Groskamp and Schuster fighting as well. And it looks like Tehost wants to get involved. Yeah, so Tehost is in there as well. Penalties coming in then, thick and fast from our stewards. Alvarado picking up the first 10-second penalty of the evening. Oppenhausen's dived into the pits as well. Tehost now looking all over the back of the Ferrari of Groskamp. These guys have been fighting for so long that it's just eked and eked and eked Anthony Tehost into the race. There's actually a raging battle going on behind. Who's 505? That's still the Connell Daly pack. Car 42's had an off. That's Van Zanten then. He's had the off this time coming out of Graham Hill that's put him in the wall. And that's released Connell Daly and Jose Martinez just to stretch their legs a little bit as we head into the forest section of Brands Hatch. A lot of people being caught out by that loud pedal, especially coming out of Graham Hill.
Oh yeah, as Tehost goes really wide coming out from the corner after Graham Hill, I think. Oh, and he goes wide on the next corner as well, really out of shape here. Luckily for him, he has a huge gap back to Ryan Ware, so he's not going to lose anything yet. But he has to be careful there. He's really lost pace from Groskamp, who beforehand he was right up behind.
Paul Glover's caught up to the back of Frederick Bollion for to put a lap on our. He's finished P2, did he not? Bollion, Paul Ricard last week. Having the greatest of drives here. I believe he has pitted though.
Paul Glover passing that back marker McLaren.
I have a feeling actually, yeah, Ash Bloomfield's had a bit of an issue here because he's lost the back of Shane Thomas and has been swallowed up by Andreas Schuster and Tom Groskamp in the Porsche and Ferrari respectively. Just needs to get his head down and get himself as close as he can into this race before hitting that pit window.
Slightly further back, Zuransky has just taken Lambert, so shout out there. Zuransky gonna try and plough back up the field after his earlier incidents.
God, that field is stretched right out there. He's 11.2 seconds behind Nicolas Alvarado, who's a further 10 seconds behind Jose Martinez. That has really started to stretch out as Andreas Schuster is the first of the top 10, essentially, to dive into the pits. Yeah, last lap there for Bloomfield of a 1:29.2. The guys in front of him are putting in 27s and 28. Steve Hughes is absolutely flying. He put in a 27.7 last lap in comparison to Salguero's 28.2. You'll be able to see all this information for yourself if you click on over to our live timings app. It even has the stream in the middle for you, but so we recommend you do a little pop-out chat from your Twitch channel because it doesn't have a chat window. And then go and head over to pitwall.live to watch the broadcast, and then you can have the chat out separately. What you all got in? What's happened?
I've just looked at the track map.
Yeah.
And I've just remembered my favourite corner name ever, so I'm definitely going to use it next time someone spins there.
Okay.
I'm very prepared for this. There's a big pack right in front of some of our leaders, actually. Salguero and Steve Hughes already passed it, but Shane Thomas right in the middle of a huge number of back markers.
This would be the perfect time to pit if I was and these. See, as if I knew what I was on about. Shane Thomas then dives into the pits. Ashley Bloomfield takes another lap.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
But yeah, this is a big pack, all for position. It includes Iverson, Straza, Horrier, Diggs, Van Zanten. I believe Oppenhausen's in there as well. No, it stops at Van Zanten, sorry. It stops at Van Zanten. He's the cork in the bottle for these 6 cars behind. It looks like Julian's done a fantastic job taking the early pit stop because he's put himself right in contention with the likes of Iverson and Horrier, who are competing for sort of middle of the pack as well.
Competing with anyone who's been banned is always good, even if they're in a different car.
Not looking good for Steve Lyons, I'm afraid, here, ladies and gentlemen. He's 2 laps down on the race. He's not caught much luck so far this season. Hopefully it's his first season with us. He sticks it out, uses it as an opportunity to grow and develop, because he's clearly fast. He's got the pace. It's just getting caught out on it, little instance here and there as Doxy jumps into the pits as well. Oh, what's that? It's Horrier looking for a move up the inside of Diggs. Nothing going there just at the moment. Let's have a look at the onboard from the car at the back of this squabble. Oh, Julian's lost it a little bit.
Yeah, he had to brake to avoid the BMW, and then going downhill with less power than usual sort of confused him by the looks of it. He's now side by side with Rodrigo Iverson, and Iverson is just going to probably pull ahead because he has the better line into this next corner. Julian's going to have to give it up going through Graham Hill.
So Bloomfield's in the pit, Gross, Camp Daly, De Riddler, all in the pits. So this is Salguero, Hughes, to Host, Ware and Glover left to go. Oh, Martinez and Alvarado as well.
Thomas has come out and is right ahead of Schuster, so Schuster had a good pit really, because there's not much of a gap in here for Ashley Bloomfield to slot himself into.
Ashley is moving, so is Grosscamp.
Yeah, but it looks like Ashley's going to lose the place to Schuster, who's now plopped himself up just behind Shane Torres.
I think Shane's probably had the worst of the pits out of the 3 of them, because he definitely had a bigger gap to Bloomfield. But Andreas is definitely one of the drivers that's performed the best there in the pit stop phase.
Steve Hughes in now in the Bentley, so we're going to see where he comes out comparatively to these guys as well.
lot of the drivers are all started to funnel into the pits. Hughes is already on his way out, so he's going to...
Hughes is already on his way out, so he's massively in the lead here. Hugely in the lead.
Got, yeah, like the whole start-finish straight between himself and Thomas as Bloomfield gets a little bit loose coming out of the last corner.
Where is Tehost? Tehost has just come out, so he's behind that pack, just behind Ashley.
So Salguero out into the lead on his own. He's gone for another lap. He's running out of... He's going to have to pit next lap. See what the other cars do. I think they're all well and truly through as well.
Ooh. Schuster being pretty aggro there, pulling out to the side even before the corner. I very much doubt that's going to ruffle Shane at all, because that would be a ridiculous place to try a pass. And now he's putting himself onto the wet part of the grass. But he hasn't lost too much on it. Still right up on Shane Thomas as they go through Dinkeldale.
That's the one! That's the one you wanted!
It's such a stupid name, Dan. Why is it called Dinkeldale?
I don't know is the honest answer. I don't know why it's called Dinkeldale.
They're all like apart from like Paddock, which makes sense, and Druids, they're all named after racing drivers except for Dinkeldale. It's just named after like Christmas or something. I don't know.
just named after Christmas.
Dinkeldale, you know. Sounds like something cool, Christmassy, you know. I don't know. As Salguero, our leader, jumps into the pits.
And they're all going to have to be in this time around, or they're going to miss out the opportunity.
Yep, Hughes is going through the drop right now. Up Hawthorns, so still most of... basically half a lap until he gets around to Salguero. So I think Salguero is safe for now. Where are the other people who should be pitting? Martinez is just diving in now. And Alvarado is the one who is leaving it the latest with that 10-second penalty.
Once all these pit stops have settled, we'll jump across the field and have a little look who is getting on and how they're doing.
Yep, Salguero has just left the pit stop and Hughes has just come around the first corner. So they're not hugely far apart. As we watch this battle between Schuster and Thomas continue. And not only is it harder to make the overtake in these sort of conditions, but it's also more likely your opponent will make the mistake. So it really does seem like a good idea to just sit behind and keep pedaling. Although Shane Thomas not the sort of guy who I expect to make a big mistake. He's normally really consistent in these races.
Yeah, that's definitely what I found on Friday as well. Was just being there gives that little thought of
window is now closed.
what do I do if that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
And it's actually around Brands Hatch. It's more about the driver in front rather than the driver behind. Like behind, you know you're there because you're not gonna. It's so little, such a short track. There's not a lot of opportunities for you to lose time across the lap. So they know you're there. Like it's just you're gonna have to stay there and keep with him as they go around the rest of the track and hope they don't. I hope for them to make a mistake, and I just think Shane's got too much experience in his hand in his corner really to be making those sort of mistakes. But you never know, the conditions could come in handy. You catch a curb wrong, you dip your right tyres into the grass coming out of turn 4, and I mean it
could still happen. Yeah.
All hell breaks loose at that point, and Schuster's in the points paying positions essentially.
Yep, strong points in here. Of course, the top 15 from each split get points. So pretty much all the top 30 who we could see, although it is mostly pro drivers, so the bottom of them may stop getting it.
Paul Glover, though, still on a fantastic drive now. He's out in P9. He's got about... he's got a good 7 or 8 seconds in the bag to Connell Daly in P2 for the our AM split or our Tier 2 drivers. His rear end comes out, going around Graham Hill. It's his favourite corner. Oh, as Ryan Ware also loses it in the same corner. It's the runoff. It's the runoff coming out of Graham Hill, the left-hander there. That you catch too much of it and you might as well say goodbye to your rear end. And both those drivers there realising that.
Yeah, Graham Hill is the corner that kills me the most on this track. Coming out of Westfield and Graham Hill are the two corners where I die. As we watch Glover going through Westfield now, seen a lot of people already today spinning coming out of here. Another downhill corner where you get a lot of weight change on the car as you're going through it. Can really throw you off.
Julian Strauss then picks himself up a 10-second penalty. We've only seen 30 seconds in penalties in this race. I think there's 10 seconds for it was 10 seconds for Alvaro, wasn't it? Who served his in the pit stop.
10 minutes for Strasser and 10 minutes for Bouillon. Schuster still all over the back of Thomas at the moment. It's dropped to half a second, that gap, but it's still enough to feel a presence. We've got this pack of Van Zanten, Diggs, Iverson as well. They've thinned themselves out a little bit as well. And with 4 minutes to go, we're running out of opportunities really to take this race by the balls essentially and pick up some valuable points. Max Diggs in the 155 or 156 even. Can't even read my numbers anymore. It's been such a long day. Right. I feel bad that I can't bring my A game this evening, but it's just I've literally got nothing left to give at the moment. Just running on fumes. Schuster all over the back of Thomas Steele. Bloomfield runs wide coming out of Graham Hill. He's going to catch the runoff like everyone else has as well. Grosskamp falls behind. Grosskamp, I've had an issue in the pit stop. Or he's definitely sort of one of the biggest losers in the pit window because Tehosta's jumped him, Yanaba's dropped him, and Glover's slowly catching him. Yeah, I have also seen him a few times around on the track being a little bit squirrely, so not having the best consistency in these conditions as well, not helping.
Further down the order then, having to look at Connell Daly, who's all over the back of Daniel Oppenhausen. Actually, one I saw going on was Kai Sahinsky and Mika Maninka. He gets the job done going into Druids. Can he get it slowed down in time? He can. So one of our two Lexis of the day. Sahinsky and Leons. I saw Julian questioning the plural of Lexus on the stream on Friday, and the man needs to learn his place.
Lexi.
If we're going to be known for one thing at ACC Sim Series, it's going to be for making the plural of Lexus, Lexi. So Lexus is. Menno de Riddler then, jumping up to the back of Paul Joseph. Not heard a lot of Paul Joseph. He's always been one that seems to be very consistent, Paul Joseph. He's always in the top split. We don't see a lot of him on stream. We don't talk a lot about him, and he's But he's always there. He's always present. He's always putting the effort in to get these sort of performances out. And he currently finds himself in P18. The Riddler looking for the inside, going into Druids. Can he get it done? He has got the inside. Can he get it slowed down in time? He can, but
Good job.
I think Paul
Went a bit
Joseph,
wide. The Audi could cut back on him. Not going to happen. He's got the inside now for Graham Hill.
Alright, man. The leader is on the final lap.
We actually have a
Final
big
push.
incident up in the fourth right now because Schuster and Thomas and Ashley are all in a little train there. They're in a little V formation, and Schuster actually getting just pushed off the line by the fact that Ashley's there means that he can't get the same sort of grunt out of the last corner that Ashley did. The Porsche now desperately trying to keep on the back of him as they head up towards Druids. Got Ashley right in on the edge, and the Porsche cannot hang around the outside. We've got a nice back marker staying out of the way there. That looks like Mattia Litchen.
So Bloomfield gets back the qualifying positions. So P1, 2, 3 and 4, all where they qualified. Schuster's put himself up from 8th to 5th, and then to Host from 10th to 6th.
Connor Daly is also now pushing on Oppenheisen, one of the Mercedes that we haven't talked about as much as the others. Those two are fighting through the middle, and Daly loses it.
Tokyo Drift through Graham Hill. Absolutely love to see it.
Fantastic for the fans, but that's not the line.
It's for the fans.
Yeah.
As Salguero then rounds the final corner and takes victory in race number 1. It's a great drive from him. Him and Steve Hughes have been battling side by side for most of the season. They had a really good battle, if I remember correctly, a really good battle around Paul Ricard last week. Ashley Bloomfield trying to get onto the back of Thomas for the final podium position. Thomas takes the shorter line to the checkered flag. And all that's left to crown in this race is Paul Glover. Fantastic drive from him. It's going to take himself a P1. I think he was battling with Ryan Ware, and Ryan Ware must have had an issue because he's fallen into the grasps of Oppenhausen and Daly. I think Ware was a tenth behind. And Daly actually got them both. So I'm not too sure what happened there, but Daly's overtaken Oppenhausen and Ryan Ware then on the final lap.
Good one.
So we've got it down to our driver of the day vote. For Salguero, you need to put P1 in the chat. Let's actually make sure the bot is on because I forgot to reset it since earlier on. Polls. Manage. Redo. Okay, so the poll is on. Salguero for P1. For Hughes, you need to put P2 into the chat. For Thomas, it's P3. For Bloomfield, it's P4. For Schuster, it's P5. For Tehost, it's P6. For Grosskamp, it's P7. For Janbert, it's P8. For Glover, it's P9. And for Daly, it's P10. I put a vote on my own phone, but my phone has died. Let's go over to the podium screen.
Oh, I need to move my camera.
You may need to move your camera. And we get a side-on view of the stream, out the window.
Hello, London.
You're in London. You're not even that far away from Brands Hatch.
It's literally my local track, but I'm not coming.
Let down, ladies and gentlemen. Who'd have thought I sent him a t-shirt and everything to be portrayed like this? We said we're not putting those people on the podium, didn't we? So we've taken the executive.
We've banned for being fast enough, so I need to get banned for just annoying you.
So we've taken the executive decision, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is to take the invitational people off of the podium, seeing as they're invitational. So Salguero is P1 in the podium. Steve Hughes is P2. Shane Thomas finished P3, but he's an invitational driver. So P4 is Ashley Bloomfield, so that's going to put him on the podium for the pro split. And then we're going to go to the... Let's go for it. Let's... Only because I can see them all. There will be 2 overlays for next season for the AM and the Pro split, or Tier 1 and Tier 2. But for now, you have to deal with 2 separate podiums. So the Pro split podium, Paul Glover, Connell Daly, Jose Martinez. Oh, my camera's frozen. My camera's still frozen from last time. I just haven't got...
In the Bud Light.
Yeah, I just haven't got around to it. So driver of the day then. Let's have a little look. Oh, who fixed that? Oh, it's still set from last week. I haven't even got to type anything. Paul Glover is driver of the day for race number 1. I'll tell you, get your Twitch Prime subs in, get your bitties donated, and we might be able to afford me a decent webcam, because these are cheap Chinese knockoffs from Amazon when I needed a webcam. And lockdown happens. So everyone bought the supply of Logitech webcams. It's not even a Logitech webcam. It's like a... What is it? It's not even got a brand on it. It's got a model number, which is a W3.
I had a nice Logitech webcam, and it decided it didn't want to live anymore, and so now I use an iPhone.
Yeah. Let's get back to the race stream, because we're in for race number 2. 3 minutes on the countdown. We're going to talk you through the grid. I'll tell you what, my PC is working overtime today as well. I can literally feel the heat coming off of it at the moment.
Beautiful. That's how my phone feels when I use it as a webcam.
Yeah. That's how I feel at the moment. What is... Oh, prediction results. Yeah, I'll trick them off in a second. It was to Host that one, wasn't it? I will clear them in a second. We'll make... If you want to have a little think,
No.
Gareth, for 2 drivers that were side by side on the qualifying order, and we'll put them for the race 2 prediction. So we go through the grid quickly then. Salguero finds himself in P1, Hughes P2, Bloomfield P3, Thomas P4, Grosskamp in P5, Sahinsky P6, Janba Schuster 7 and 8, Derrida and Tehost 9 and 10, Lyons Glover, Daly Bollion, Iverson and Ware, Joseph and Van Zanten, Oppenhuisen and Diggs, Hollier and Martinez, Alvarado and Lambert, Strasser and Doherty, Lysin and Allen, and Maninka at the back. Let us know who you're backing in the chat. And we will push this like that. Knock that off and then tab out. We'll pay out these predictions. So it was Antony to Host, wasn't it, that won that one? Now, what's the prediction going to be for the next race? Any thoughts, Gareth?
I think it should be 2 of the Mercedes, because they were fighting the whole time. All the Mercedes were. So I'm going to say Oppenhuisen and Van Zanten.
Right. Okay. Just give me easier names to spell.
No.
So Van Zanten, Oppenhuisen. You got 5 minutes in chat to get your predictions in for race number 2. Who's going to finish higher? Thomas Van Zanten or Daniel Oppenhuisen? They start 19th and 20th. I do Mike versus Max. We had Mike versus Max in qualifying, but they're... Max is 20th, Mike's 26th, so it's a bit of an unfair fight.
I found something cool to explore, by the way. There's like a tunnel under the track. It's dope.
Oh yeah, there's... yeah.
There's Looks cool.
Yeah, because the paddock area, if you need some history lessons on Brands Hatch. So this road here takes you to the back of the paddocks. Don't know why they've got trucks down there, because these trucks, to get there, need to fit through these tunnels.
Nice.
It might have fit through that if you're lucky. And then like the main paddock, obviously for all the support races and stuff like that, is all out over here. Around Brands Hatch. Paddock office. Some toilets and showers. Lots of fans, because fans can walk around this part of the paddock. But anyway, let's get back to the racing at hand. Jermaine Salguero will run them round.
Car 15, Steve Lyons, is starting from the pit.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Everyone's back in Oppenhausen so far. Well, no, there's one on each. It's just Doc Rob's dropped 1k wife coins, whereas Chinola's only dropped 50 wife coins.
That's the right way to go. Just go hard.
Go hard or go home. So if you've never seen this feature before, if you've got little wife coins, free internet monies in the bottom right hand corners, they're basically going to become the new Bitcoin. I'm going to monetize them and I'll be a millionaire. Oh, 987. Who's that? Is that Lyson? He must have had a spin. Is he going to catch up? He has. He might just about catch up with the back here. Oh, Salguero. Oh no, Hughes by the looks of it had a really eager right foot. As we're about to go green then for race number 2. Salguero's going to lead us round. He had a really bogged down start from Salguero. That's going to open the door to... Oh, there's a spin. Oh, there's the Riddler's in the wall. He's had contact with, I believe it was Schuster. Let's put him in the wall.
If Shane's had a bad start again as well, was just dropped behind. Maybe doing it for safety, but it looks pretty awkward. But Schuster and Janba, both there looking like they were getting tangled up with that Riddler spin. Whether that was some sort of incident or just a spin themselves. But the leaders once again diving away as the rest of our field is relatively cleanly off. Riddler didn't take anyone out.
Paul Glover's through then. He's on his way up to turn 5. Paul Glover's had a great start, by the way.
Zaransky going around the outside of Bloomfield into this really fast right-hander of Hawthorne, but doesn't quite make anything, and now he's fallen back and is being threatened by the Porsche of Schuster.
That's going to slow everyone down. That's going to concertina the whole pack up, that is. That Iverson's off then, caught hold of the curb. Oh, who was that behind? I think it's Bonion's had a loud pedal moment. Oh, the rejoin. You've got to be careful there. What are you doing? What are you doing? I think he's lost complete control of his car. Because he just idled across the track.
Across the whole track, yeah. That's not good.
That's not going to be a great start from him then.
Oh, and Schuster goes wide down the first corner down paddock. He tries to cut across. Really sharply gets across to Horst, gets to the inside so Horst can't overtake. That was a aggressive as all hell move, but he manages just to retain his position as further up Bloomfield is poking on the back of Groskamp.
I think Van Zanten's been caught up in something as well, because he's dropped down to the back of the order in our battle of Oppenhausen versus Van Zanten. Van Zanten finds himself in 26th all the way at the back. Just poodled himself along, whilst Oppenhausen finds himself in this really thinned out pack going down towards turn 5.
Yeah, Ashley's really harassing Groskamp here, right on the back of the Ferrari. And we saw the Ferrari could make mistakes last race, so we could easily see that happening again.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened to Polion.
Yeah, his wheel must have disconnected, because you can still brake if you stalled, so... Either that, or he's given up. He's just upset with himself and just sat there rolling. But he's not in the pits, so whatever happened seems like he's got fixed, unless he is totally disconnected.
Bloomfield got a better run out of Druids then, looking at the back.
Really good run there, but just can't do anything about it. But the Ferrari goes wide, and he can do something about that. The Ferrari not coming over too much, and allows Bloomfield into 4th place just behind Thomas.
Oh, a free wide coming out of Druids into Graham Hill further back. There was a yellow flag as well up there, so I'm not too sure what happened, but he's bunched this whole field up from Doherty all the way back pretty much to, I think it was Alan must have been the one involved, because he's fallen down the order. And it's really split this pack up between Alvarado and Maninka. There's about a 5-second gap between the two of them. The McLaren of Lambert looking at the back of Horier. Yeah, oh yeah, what's Yamba doing back there? That's the problem. Yamba must have had an incident, because he's fallen all the way down to 22nd.
Yeah, that's a huge incident there, getting caught up in something.
Oh, I just got a message from Body on. His PC crashed.
Yeah, that would explain it. Unlucky.
That's what's happened to him.
Just in front of this pack, though, Mika Maninka's getting really pushed by Doherty there. Was forcing him to go defensive on the run down paddock. And again into Druids. Oh, and he's got a little bit wide there, but not enough to allow Doherty a path through on the inside.
So we've got 3 big packs here. I mean, Bloomfield's actually got... I think Thomas must have had an issue, because Bloomfield's up at the front of the first pack, and Thomas is getting himself swallowed up behind by Groskamp, Hinsky and Schuster then. So so Bloomfield finds himself in P3. And then we've got this big old pack, and Paul Glover just seems to be plodding along behind him. Absolutely loves it. Look at, he's literally licking his lips at one of these guys to make a mistake. And there's 4 positions up for grabs. And
Zirinsky this time has not been forced down the field. It's a little wiggle there out of Sterling, but he's doing much better now, leading the AM class in P6 overall.
Van Zanten, Maninka, and Derivla all picking up 10-second penalties. It must have been for instance on the first and second laps. There's a few more yellow flags this time round than there was in the first race. Our drivers probably getting a little bit more comfortable with the weather and understanding where they can put their right foot down and where they need to let it roll through. Salguero and Hughes just driving away from the pack in these Bentleys.
Yeah, they look incredibly hard to control and really wiggly, but
Tahos just caught the rear end of Glover. Oh, Glover nearly went into the side of Daly. That's a great recovery from Glover. Tahos just catches his rear left quarter and puts him into a little bit of a tailspin, but manages to hold it really nicely. That's definitely going to generate some heat into those tyres of the Ferrari for Glover. And this pack ahead, trading places. Bloomfield, Thomas, Groskamp, Zahinsky. Zahinsky runs it out a little bit wide. That's going to open the door for Schuster in the Porsche.
Paul Glover, certified strats, by the way. If you're having trouble warming up your tyres, just spin on the formation lap. He said it gave him a really good first lap last week at Paul Ricard.
That could have been the issue today. So this pack
Pit window is opening.
slowly trundling along. They're going to miss out on the pits off the bat. And the next pack behind involving Alvarado, Iverson, Martinez.
Maninka being taken by Oppenheisen there, or failing to take him, as Doherty now gets a good run down the inside of him because he failed that. This front of this pack, super impressive. Actually, the pack is no longer impressive because a huge middle section of the pack has just dived into the pits together. That's going to make an awkward set of things to pass his lapped cars as Maninka gets Oppenheiser. Oppenheiser trying to come down on the inside, but there's a Doherty there. You can't do anything about that, but Doherty not going to get the good line. And now that McLaren of Lambert has snuck in and has the better line than Doherty going through Graham Hill. And so Doherty, from that aggressive move to the centre, has lost multiple places now and put himself behind Lambert and Oppenheisen into the next corner.
Yeah, Doherty's got it all to find.
It was really close there from Oppenheisen. He got off of the track there a little bit. Lambert almost went into the back of him, but actually the whole order stays the same as they're all just trying not to die at this point. Oh, 420, that's Alvarado off the road there. He's clearly spun on his own and caught the wall.
Oh, Lambert just gets his nose into the pit lane. The big old gaggle of cars in the middle here, and oh, 42's off to the left. 42 is... Who's 42?
Van Zanten.
Oh, so Van Zanten's found himself into the wall.
26th position.
That must put him a lap down, surely. Is that Maninka as well? Has had a spin? No, Maninka mustn't have a spin. He's just trying to avoid him. Even if he's made a bigger gap.
Yeah, Maninka does have a 10-second penalty, however.
So Lichin's grabbed himself onto the tail end of this big old pack of cars. Further up. My timing screen's gone all over the place and I can't actually find... There he is.
Yeah, lots of people pitting, is throwing it off a little bit as we see both Bumfield and Shane Thomas diving into the pits as well.
So they're getting earlier pit stops in this time than they did last time. So Hughes is in, Bloomfield's in, Thomas is in. Salguero's probably going to run himself as deep as he possibly can. So Host picking himself up a penalty, probably for that, likely for that contact with Glover into turn 4. Oh, these must all be back markers or drivers in and out of the pits. I'm not too sure who's where.
Yeah, I think that big gang that came into the pits all at once have sort of slotted into those who haven't pit, and so it's become a bit of a confusing mess right here as Hughes, Bloomfield and Thomas all leave the pits in that order. Oh, so at the front here, Doherty really having a go into Dingledale, which is not safe at all. It does push Oppenheisen out a little bit wide and slows him down, but it doesn't really matter that they slowed him down because there's nothing you can do through Sterling's And now they've got to roll down towards clearways before breaking onto the straight and getting your opportunity. Joseph, ooh, it looked like he was going really slow there, but Oppenheiser spun. Oppenheiser has spun, and Doherty has now been taken over by Van Zanten, who's actually, I believe, a lap down, so it's not really losing him a place. But he's going to have to follow around the damaged Mercedes now as the rest of that group dives into the pit lane.
Yeah, Oppenhauser manages to find himself a way into the pits following that spin. To be honest, I was zoned out for a little bit, so I'm not too sure if he spun himself or he was spun by someone.
But he was slightly off my camera, so I didn't see. But
just saw him sat sideways.
yeah, the other cars were going very slowly next to him, so there definitely could have been contact.
.505. Who is that, and where are they? Ah, Daly. There he is.
That's Daly, who's in fifth position, just diving into the.
That was the pack
right
I was
now.
about to go and watch, and they all go and dive in the pit. So Aguero just really dominating this wet weather setup here. He's 14 seconds in the lead from Groskamp. Yet to pit.
So Aguero is officially the damp boy.
Damp boy. And he's actually coming up. He's about half a lap ahead. Well, he's about half a lap from catching Steve Hughes as well. He's 4 corners away from catching Steve Hughes, who was P2 before this pit window. 303, Jose Martinez then on the back of Ryan Ware. That is 4th position. There's some blue flags involved here in Victor Janber in the Goob liveried Audi. Fighting the tyres here then, just to find any inch of grip they possibly can. Penalties raining in now. Doherty picking himself up a chunky little 10 seconds.
Yeah, that probably means he did spin the Mercedes then, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens. As Groskamp dives himself into the pits. How is Glover? Glover's lost a position to Daly here in the pit window. He's most likely going to come out probably 3rd in class, I reckon. To Host all over the back of Sahinsky here as well.
Yeah, this is for 2nd on the road right now, so after some pit stops they could still be pretty high, as my timing is saying that Groskamp has got ahead of Shane Thomas. Has he stayed ahead of Shane Thomas? I think they pit at different times, which confused me.
No, so Shane Thomas is just in front of him at the moment. So Salguero then dives into the pits, and Steve Hughes is only just going around turn 4. So, Salguero's opened up a massive gap in his pit window. So Hinsky drives into the pits as well, opens the door for Tehost. Behind we've got a little battle between 9, 8, 7 and 20. Oh, as Ryan Ware takes a big rear end tap into the wall.
Ow, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's going to happen to a lot of our drivers this weekend. I believe it happened to our driver steward this evening, Chris Meadows. His license loses it on the exit of turn 1. Gives the position.
Alvarado doing a big spin at the end of the lap as well.
Where's Alvarado? Can't even see him. There he is. P6.
Just ahead of Steve Hughes. But he has not yet hit.
So Salguero, who has pit, is... Oh, it's not as big as a gap as I thought it was. It's about 5 or 6 seconds between Hughes and Salguero, I reckon. Maybe 9 or 10. Depends where the timing beam's going to cut them off. Alvaro pulling over to let Hughes go. There's no need to do that. Well, I mean, obviously Alvaro still got to pit, but that was for position on track.
It's so rub, yeah.
Loads of followers tonight, guys. Welcome to the ACCSS. If you're interested in getting yourself involved in some of these races, we've got some information regarding Season 4 coming up after this race. And the Discord link is just been posted by a bot in the chat as well. So if you fancy hopping into the Discord, feel free. Be greeted by some of our lovely staff. And a few promotions this week for some of our normal members to staff and admin. As Alvaro grabs a big old chunk of curb, and that's going to put him in the grass. It's been a long... We think we're tired, right? Alvaro plays on mouse and keyboard. He has just done...
Playing with mouse and keyboard from the Southern America, right?
Yeah, it's South American, hence the ping. Plays on mouse and keyboard. And before this event, which is coming up to now 2 hours, he was part of he competed in round 2 of the Solo Endurance Cup, which, if you don't know, is a 2.4 hour race once a month that we do for 50 of our drivers. And was last after the first corner, after qualifying second, and managed to come in 7th out of 35 drivers. Like...
Jason Daly in chat asking to take it easy on us for Season 4. It's not happening. Sorry, mate.
It's not happening at all.
No, once you see the announcement, you'll be very happy.
You'll be very happy
so
to see that.
Schuster's got round Zarensky. I don't know why I said his name like that.
The man is a nutter, Dale. He's absolute nut. Like, honestly, he must be some sort of cyborg.
The moment he got out of SEC, he was in the practice server practicing brands, up until the moment brand started as well. He just hasn't stopped.
I've got a banging headache from SEC, right? From that amount of concentration for that long, and he was flying after he managed to be involved in a lap 1 incident. Like, so here he had to do all the. He was 2 laps down on everyone after the first lap, and managed to catch up, unlap himself, and get to P7 to finish just a lap behind the top 4 cars, like, but on the same lap as everyone else in the server. Like, how he's got to be wearing some old school Gunner optics. Let's go back to the action. Let's get back to the action. Sahinsky then over the back of Schuster at the moment. Daly finds himself... Oh, so Sahinsky's lost out then in the pit window to Daly and Glover. So Daly's in the lead of Tier 2, or the AM part of our pro split. Glover finds himself in P2.
See what happens to Martinez first.
It's car 42's into the wall. Who is that?
Oh no, 42's been in the wall a couple of times, right down the back. That's Van Zanten.
I think he's quit. I think he's left the server. Yeah, so Van Zanten.
I can't click on him on our broadcast anymore.
So let's pay out those bets then. So Oppenhausen backers. Van Zanten has left the lobby. So well done if you backed Oppenhausen. You pick yourself up another big chunk of wife coin. Rob, is that 3 wins out? Is that 3 predictions correct out of 3? I'm pretty sure
he
he's
doesn't
3
even
for
want
3.
these silly made-up points, and he's just winning everything.
It's me trying to convince him to get back on the grid. If he wins these predictions, he might come back and do some driving with us, because he's a fantastic driver to have around. Maninka and Horier, no, it's Maninka and Goob Yanaba, sorry. Same thing, just the
livery.
Yeah. Battling it out for position there for P16 and 17. See what we've not used yet today. Let's whack the rear view on.
Oh,
yeah, look at that. He's even put... He's even
Maninka.
Maninka's on it, and as Janneber's grabbed a whole chunk of curb. I believe that was
Through
for your favourite
Dingledell?
corner. It was through Dingledell.
Looking at the Maninka wearing.
Oh,
The Goob livery in the background.
this is what I will miss out of unfortunately having to drop custom liveries for season 4. Is that we're going to get some of these fantastic guys. The guys have designed some absolutely fantastic liveries. As you see, the rear end of
Yeah,
Maninka's
hop
AMG.
onto Yambers and look back. He's got a good rear ring as well.
See, it's even got the ACCS badges on there.
Yeah, ACCS all over there representing. It's all good.
I just love how Maninka. Oh, these guys are battling it out. These guys are for blood. Like these two here. Like he's even got aim here written in on the back of his car. Like, literally teasing that man. As Glover's looking to get the job done on Daly. I believe they're side by side coming through the penultimate corner. I keep saying penultimate. That is the last corner, Dan. What am I doing?
It's fine. They have two separate names for it, so you can pretend that you mean Clearways and not Clark.
Yeah.
Even though Clark is clearly not a corner. It's just a wiggle.
Is Clark the right-hander with the pit entrance on it? Like the little.
Yes. The like tiny curve right. And Clearways is the actual corner, I think.
Yeah.
Send it! Let's see
Go
it,
on!
Glover. He's going
Go
for
on!
it. There's no room there, but he's very
Go on,
slightly
Paul!
faster. Doesn't quite manage it. He's going to have to go all the way through the drop.
Good to see that Paul Glover didn't fix his livery after we mentioned it last week.
Nope.
He won't. I mean, he
Absolutely
pulled
never
this
gonna
off of Race Department. Bless him. He is Race Department's podcast lead.
Oppenheiser also having a bit of a nightmare. If Van Zanten hadn't left, they'd actually be pretty close quarters right now because he's down to 20th. Just saw him spinning again. There's Glover still sticking on hard from there. The Mercedes turning in really early, so quite safe over the curb, but a little bit slow. Paul Glover took way more speed through there, had to collect it a little bit at the end, but should still have a bit of an advantage going into Clearways. Right up on the back of him. Let's see it, Paul.
Send it. That's all we need. You need these back-to-back wins, Paul, for your ego.
Coming up to Druids. Oh, and the Mercedes has gone wide, so this is where he could dive into the middle. He's going to have to get a nice run out of Druids, though, because the Mercedes still has the inside line for Graham, and he's going to take it.
Oppenhausen pulls out the way of this battle as well.
Yeah, Thomas trying to catch Bloomfield. That's for third position. Glover chasing Daly for sixth.
Oh, Glover!
goes
Glover, no!
wide.
Glover, no!
He doesn't lose too much. He's still got a couple of minutes to try and catch up again, but he's going to have to put on some pace to pull that off.
Paul Joseph then
There's-
getting the job done on Julian Strasser on the I think it was through Druids and Glover Grass.
Mika, Maninka and Yanba have been joined by Horio in their fight. He's now sitting in between these two cars. And as Mika is starting to pull away, Yanba has a new target to try and get out of his way. Well, except Mika was pretty slow through there. So these guys are just going to be diving about each other as behind them. It looks like Josef Strasser and Doherty are having their own little battle. Joseph pulling away as Doherty tries to overtake Strasser coming into the straight.
Julian going to defend the inside, and then got to get himself back over to the driving line for the turn 1. It's very difficult to take that turn 1 when you're so close to the right-hand side of the track. Runs himself wide. That's going to open the door for Doherty. Doherty doesn't want to put his nose in too much. Oppenhausen finds himself off again around the second sector of the track. I'll tell you what, because you've stuck with us, stream, for this torrential commentating for myself. I mean, Gareth's been on fire as he usually is, but for myself, we'll tell you all the tracks for Season 4 at the end of the race, and when sign-ups will open, and when the season will start. Because I'm that sort of nice guy. The tracks won't be in order though, so you won't know what is when. But you'll know what the tracks are. Let's do a prediction for that. Trying to think of the tracks that I put in there. Oh, it's Doherty gone for the inside of Charles. He's pushed him out wide through turn 1. Can he keep his nose in front as they go into Druids? He can.
Fantastic, nice aggressive move, and he stays nice and close to the exit of Druids. So Julian has no chance to get back at him and falls another place. Oh, and has he lost it? Yeah, huge skid from Julian. Manages to catch it up though, so he's still going.
It does concern you, Mache. You're allowed to. You're invited back. We'd said this before. 150. Who's 150? I don't recognise that number. Oh, it's Alan. Alan was off before Druids. Do I see they've started the last lap? Am I just zoned out? Salguero.
Not quite. I don't believe.
Well, this must be the last lap then. This must be the last lap because Salguero's still got half a lap to go, so he's gonna draw himself around. There is a poll up in the chat for what track will be in Season 4, Hungaroring or Nürburgring?
Oh man, I hate both those tracks.
One of them is in there. Which one? I do not know. Salguero then takes back-to-back wins this evening around Brands Hatch.
Is that Julian just behind him?
Yeah, I think so.
What happened to him then? He must have fallen real far behind.
Yeah, he lost out to... Who was he in the battle with? He's in the battle with Maninka.
He just got taken by Doherty.
Oh, he's finished just behind Doherty, but by 7 seconds.
Far behind though, yeah.
Thomas finds himself round in P3. As the battle between Glover and Daly. Oh, Glover's got the job done.
Yep, Paul comes through and wins Am Split.
What a hero, Paul Glover, and I'm going to get a load of stick for not showing his overtake on stream. But I'm sorry, Paul. It's been a long and emotional day. Ryan Ware comes in 11th in the leading BMW.
Oh, and there's a pit limiter race going on.
Where?
Where do you think? With the people who always have pit limiter races.
The pit limiter race is on between Alvaro. Grosscamp's not getting involved in that.
Grosscamp's not getting involved in the pit limiter race.
That's too cool for Grosscamp. Alvaro then comes himself around P4 in the lead of the pit limiter race. Glover's not having any of it. Martinez is Bloomfield up the inside of Thomas into 4.
Oh, Glover. Glover with the strats. He's just taken McLaren. Oh, look, they are as well. They're going back the short way. See, why go around the whole GP when you could just take the Indy
Alvado's
circuit?
taken his pit limiter off there to get back into the race. I saw it, Alvaro.
No one saw it.
Oh, he spun Bloomfield on the final corner. Honestly, they're really tempted. Oh, go on. It's Thomas and Alvaro in the pit limiter race. Brands Hatch. I believe Alvaro won.
Sneaking his pit limiter off.
I believe Alvaro won the pit limiter race. For look at the jump in it. Oh, he's going to pull to the outside. He cuts himself back, and Thomas wins the pit limiter race of Brands Hatch. Oh, I'm going to cut over to the podium screen.
Oh no, my camera was in the right place the whole long. You didn't. None of you saw anything. Heathens.
So it was Salguero, Hughes, Bloomfield. Let's make sure the driver of the day. Oh, the poll is now open for driver of the day. So P1, Salguero, P2, Hughes, P3, Bloomfield, P4, Thomas, P5, Groskamp, P6, Glover, P7, Daly, P8, Schuster, P9, Sahinsky, and P10, Martinez. Get your votes in the chat now. So oh, that's not the right one. That's from the last one. Don't get your hopes up, Paul. Only one vote counts. Idiot. That's going to be our pro podium. And our AM podium is going to look like this. Oh, who was third? Sahinsky was third.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no clue.
I'm going to give it to him.
This is why I don't do a second podium.
I've not even spelt it correctly.
All the information's gone.
And Sahinsky then takes. There you go, Julian. So driver of the day is going to go to this person.
Who is it?
It is Mr. Salguero. Then is going to get driver of the day.
Salguero.
For race number 2. So as you can see, my webcam has been replaced, for the eagle-eyed viewers out there, with season 4. So we're going to go back to the pre-race because you can get a bigger version of it then. And we're going to go like this. There you go. It's in the middle now. Season 4, you are not ready for season 4. And I'm going to let you work out the tracks. I'm not even going to tell you. But they're there. And I'm going to pay out the bet for whoever predicted that Nürburgring is going to be part of season 4.
So you're not going to tell them apart from the one that you tell them?
I already told them Barfirst is in there. Told them that Barfirst is in there earlier.
You're going to be up on the mountain. How excited are you all?
And Nürburgring is in there as well. You guys can work out the rest from the photos. It's not that difficult. Actually, I've probably given you the 3 easiest ones to guess. Can you get it, Gareth? You already know. What's the point of asking you? Let me know in the chat if you can get it. The other 3 tracks that are in there. So sign-ups will open on the 20th.
It's like a good season to skip, Mims, ma'am. You're crazy. They've got some of the best tracks in here.
So sign-ups will open on the 20th of December. That's going to be the... oh, it's not even... Yeah, it is, the 20th. At the end of Suzuka next week during our Stream Racer party. Next Sunday is going to be... what am I even talking about? Yeah, at the end of our Stream Racer party next week is going to be when sign-ups will be announced. That will be a Google form that you need to fill out if you want to take part in Season 4. Then we can place you into the splits. New drivers. So this is how evaluation is going to work. We're not having an evaluation week because it's going to be a very short turnaround between Season 3 and Season 4. We're basically going to have the Christmas break, and the green flag will drop for Season 4 on the 8th of January 2021. So we're not going to have evaluation week as we normally do because we don't need to evaluate all of you because you've got so much data for you. We just need to evaluate all the new drivers. If you're new and signed up for the Zolder team event, for just seeing us, our wonderful faces on Discord, and did I miss something? I'll just leave you to it. And yeah, just if you're new in general, then get yourselves on a evaluation race on a Monday night. There'll be Monday nights for the next 3 weeks. You need to have taken part in an evaluation race at some point in ACCSS to take part in the championship series. That's the only condition, except having your nickname on our Discord server the same name as what you have on SGP. And if you are signed up to SGP, please link your Discord accounts. That means when you sign up, you'll be given the Discord role for that championship and you'll be able to see the super secret chats they have. It saves me about 8 hours of admin a season just by simply linking your Discord to your Sim Racing GP accounts. But that's going to leave us there tonight. If you can't work it out, it's Bathurst, Nürburgring, Spa, Laguna Seca and Silverstone next season. That's not the order they're going to be in, but they're the tracks for next season. Sign-ups will come out on the 20th of December and green flag will drop on the 8th of January. Thank you very much, Gareth. Anything to close off? Well, you've been here for 6 hours today. You've been here for 6 hours. You've been an absolute trooper. Anything to sign us off with?
The thing that you missed in chat is that I timed someone out for saying that Silverstone was bad.
Okay, yeah, honestly. That's perfectly valid.
All I have to say.
Perfectly valid.
Silverstone's fantastic.
If you tell me who they were, I'll kick them off the Discord as well.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think I know who that is. So
I saw red. I timed him out. You know,
Silverstone's a great track. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining us this week. Thank you very much, Gareth, for all the hard work today. 6 hours you've been here. Go and enjoy a nice rounded beer that you finished off there. Go and get yourself another one. And we shall see you back here on Friday evening for the final round. For the final round for AmSplit will be next week. See you later.
Thoughts, emotions swirl. I wanna